You walk into the cafe. Tables are full of people laughing, chatting, sharing food, and you find a table in the corner. Take out your phone and eat alone, not because no one invited you or because you're having a bad time, but because it's exactly where you want to be. And the worst part is that everyone is watching you. They make assumptions, they form theories, they decide what's wrong with you. But what if they've interpreted it all backward? Because psychologists have been studying people who eat alone, and what they've discovered isn't what you'd expect. It's not that they're lonely, it's not social rejection or that they're shy. In fact, there are 3 distinct psychological profiles behind this behavior. Some are conserving their energy in ways most don't understand. Others are acting from a part of the brain that craves something the crowd can't provide. And a small group has discovered something about human connection that makes eating alone feel like freedom, not failure. Let's start with what everyone else sees. When someone eats lunch alone, the social brain immediately activates threat detection. Are they okay? Are they rejected? Should I feel bad for them? It's automatic. Humans are wired to interpret solitude as a warning sign. For most of human history, being alone meant danger, exile, vulnerability. But here's what they're missing. You're not alone because you have to be. You're alone because it costs less. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about something psychologists call social metabolic load, the invisible energy expense of being around other people. Every conversation you navigate, every joke you're expected to laugh at, every group dynamic you have to read and adjust to, it all burns fuel, and some people's tanks are just smaller. Let's talk about the first group. These are people whose brains process social interaction completely differently. Neuroscientist Dr. Marty Olson-Laney found that introverts have higher baseline cortical arousal. Translation: their brains are already running hot. Adding more stimulation, conversation, eye contact, group energy pushes them into overstimulation. It's not enjoyable, it's exhausting.
So, eating lunch alone isn't avoiding people. It's strategic recovery. 30 minutes of silence isn't loneliness. It's a buffer zone, a decompression chamber between meetings, emails, and the performance of being on. And here's the part most people miss. They're not recharging for nothing. They're recharging so they can show up better later. But there's something deeper happening. Research from the University of Rochester found that people who regularly seek solitude report higher levels of autonomy and self-regulation. They're not dependent on external validation to feel okay. They've built an internal ecosystem that doesn't require constant social watering. That's not weakness. That's efficiency. Now, let's talk about the second type, because this one hits different. These are people who aren't just introverted, they're sensory sensitive. Dr. Elaine Aron's research on highly sensitive persons found that about 20% of the population processes sensory input more deeply. Sounds, lights, emotions, even the energy of a crowded room, it all registers louder. Imagine this: you're sitting in a busy cafeteria. Someone's laughing too loud 3 tables over. Fluorescent lights are buzzing. There's a conversation to your left about weekend plans you're not part of. Someone's chewing with their mouth open. Your brain is trying to track all of it, filter it, make sense of it, and it's drowning. For these people, eating alone isn't a preference, it's sensory triage. The quiet table isn't lonely, it's the only place their nervous system can actually relax. And when people ask, "Why don't you join us?" they're not being rude by saying no. They're choosing functional peace over polite chaos. But here's where it gets interesting. These people often feel guilt because society tells them community is good, connection is healthy. Eating alone means something's broken. So they override their own needs, sit with the group, and spend the next 2 hours feeling like their brain is a browser with 47 tabs open. And that's not connection, that's performance.
And then there's the third group, the ones that confuse everyone. Because they're not antisocial, they're not anxious, they're not overstimulated. They just don't need lunch to be a social event. They've done the math, and casual group lunches don't pass the cost-benefit test. Psychologist Sherry Turkle talks about this in her research on solitude. She found that people who are comfortable being alone often have deeper, more intentional relationships. They're not filling time with surface-level interactions. They're saving their energy for the people and moments that actually matter. Think about it. You have 30 minutes for lunch. You can either split your attention across 5 people talking about nothing important, or you can sit alone, think clearly, maybe read something that actually interests you, and return to your day sharper, calmer, more yourself. For this group, eating alone isn't isolation, it's curation. And here's the twist. These are often the people everyone wants to have lunch with, because when they do show up socially, they're fully present. They're not performing, they're not scattered, they're genuinely there, and that makes them magnetic. But they're selective, and that selectivity protects the quality of their attention. But we need to talk about something uncomfortable, because not everyone eating alone is doing it from a place of strength. Some people want to sit with others. They're just terrified of the rejection, or the awkwardness, or confirming the fear that no one actually wants them there. This is what psychologists call social safeguarding. If you never try to join, you never get rejected. If you eat alone by choice, it doesn't hurt. But if you eat alone because you're scared, that's a different story. And the cruel part, from the outside, both look identical. So here's the question worth asking yourself. Are you eating alone because it fills you, or because trying to sit with others feels too risky? Because one is peace, the other is hiding, and only you know which one it is.
Here's what most people get wrong. They see someone eating alone and think sad, lonely, rejected. But often, that person is experiencing something completely different. They're feeling relief. Dr. John Cacioppo, who spent decades studying loneliness, found that loneliness isn't about being alone, it's about feeling disconnected even when surrounded by people. You can be lonely in a crowded cafeteria, and you can feel completely whole at a table for one. The external picture doesn't match the internal experience, and when people assume you're sad, they're projecting their own fear of solitude onto you, because for them, being alone feels unbearable, so they can't imagine you'd choose it. But you're not them. Your nervous system runs on different fuel, and once you stop apologizing for that, something shifts. The guilt dissolves. The explanations stop. You just eat, and it's fine. Better than fine. It's exactly right. So what's the psychology of people who eat lunch alone? It's not one thing. It's conservation, sensory intelligence, intentional solitude, or sometimes quiet self-protection. Some people are protecting their energy so they can show up better elsewhere. Some are giving their overstimulated brains the only break they'll get all day. Some have simply realized that not every moment needs to be shared to be meaningful. And the ones who are hiding? They're not broken either. They're just working through something the rest of us can't see. Which means maybe the kindest thing we can do is stop assuming we know what someone's solitude means. Because you don't. Only they do. If you've ever eaten lunch alone and felt completely at peace, drop a comment. I want to know if you're the energy conserver, the sensory sensitive, or the selectively social type. And if you're curious about why some people need silence the way others need conversation, the next video breaks down something even deeper. Click it. You'll probably see yourself in it.